English, the book is like giving a birth to a child.
It's true.
Yeah, so I love my book. It's my baby. I worked on it for 7 years.
Wow.
7 long years. Yeah, the Lord tested my faithfulness to the work that I was doing. Yes, my last name is pretty hard to pronounce. I'm Lithuanian, so Lithuania is a Baltic country from Eastern Europe. English is my third language, so yes, a lot of times for Americans it's pretty hard to pronounce my last name. When I was 22 years old, I got into a tragic car accident where my boyfriend and I, we were driving 100 miles an hour on an icy road, and at that speed we hit the light pole in the middle of the city. The car was broken literally like a piece of cake into 2 pieces. My boyfriend was ejected out of the car and he was killed. And some parts of the car severed my legs right there in the car. So the emergency, when they cut the car in pieces to get me out, I was unconscious, bleeding to death, and my heart has stopped twice. So I shouldn't be even speaking here. This crash took my life away. It took half of my body away, everything that made my life beautiful. And you know, I woke up in the world that I never knew. I was able independently only to open and close my eyes. That was it. My right hand was broken, the left is paralyzed up to this day, completely smashed jaw, the neck was nearly broken and maybe paralyzed. All ribs were broken, lost legs. I was laying in bed and I couldn't move, even I couldn't turn on the side while I was sleeping. That's the world I woke up in, being 22 years old. And Lithuania at the time was not wheelchair accessible. So basically, for me, life became an existence. I was locked up in my home for an entire year, unless my dad or my brother would carry me out in their arms, which I hated. I hated it with my passion. And you know, and that's where I stood at the crossroad. Do I give in? Do I give up? Blaming the car accident that it broke my destiny, which I heard a lot of people saying to me, or do I fight? Or do I pick up my faith, pick up myself, and fight for my life and make it good anyway? And that's what I did. I trusted my God that He has the power over any circumstance. And no matter how tragic it was, with God's power, I will be able to recover my life. And I will live the life beautiful. I will recover it. I made a vow to myself. And you know, and my first goal was to walk again, and my big desire to walk brought me all the way across the globe to California. 3 years since the car accident, and then a year later, when I first came to California, I saw that here I would be able to live independently. My dream was to live a full life, which is I wanted to go out, I wanted to work, I wanted to be a part of community. I wanted to live, not exist. California was the place, but at the time I did not have a place to live, no money, no potential work. I did not even have the right to live and work in America. Plus, I have only functional arm. How do I live? But you know, the Lord spoke to me through the Holy Scriptures. He said that He was going to bless me. And I packed my luggage. And I came. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Please, no.
I came to build my dream. Yeah, it's a very long story, but praise be to God, I live here in America. I lived here for 13 years, independently, full life. I work as public relations and volunteer coordinator at Disability Services and Legal Center. I'm a public speaker, I'm a certified life coach, and newly published author. It is a big honor for me to receive this award, this recognition, because quite frankly, I did not want to be an author. I didn't believe I could be an author. For people who started saying like several years since the crash, you have an amazing story, you should write a book. And I said, leave me alone, I'm not gonna write. I can do the interview, media were very interested in my story, but I was not doing the book. But God has his plans. One day I received a text message from my brother who was still in Lithuania, and in the message I read, Inga, I don't know how to live my life anymore, help me. And that was so disturbing for me to hear that kind of words from my brother. And I was standing in the room and I said, God, what do I do? I'm across the globe. How can I help my brother? What's going on with him? Because he did not explain anything what was happening. And I got a very clear thought, write him a letter. And understanding was that I needed to reveal to him my true story of how I recovered my life, what empowered me to recover my life after the crash. And I was still hesitant, but this thought wouldn't leave me alone. So one day after I got back from work, I just got on the computer and I just started typing. And the words were just flowing out of me, and I was writing and writing and writing. And then on the next day, I received his letter saying, Inga, you don't know what you did. Now I have hope. Please continue writing. So I continued writing. I would get from home and I type until midnight and beyond. And soon my brother told me, Inga, my little son still has his daddy alive because of your letters. The situation was so bad that he was contemplating on committing suicide, and he said that only your letters help me. So he said, please continue writing and publish into the book to help other people. And so I continued writing, even though I never thought I could be an author, but I said, you know, if the Lord is leading me that way, then I will do it. So I continued writing, and finally 7 years later, I have that baby in my hands. This is my true story memoir of how I was able to restore my life after tragedy, to traveling across the globe and establishing my fulfilling life. And in addition to that, when the reader will be inspired, there is coaching. So the reader, in addition to being inspired to the book, he will have practical tools how to get over depression, how to break through difficult times. What do you do when you just cannot go on anymore? How do you break through? How do you live when you don't want another day to come? How do you achieve that which is impossible? It's all in the book. And this book, as you heard, it's a testimony of a living God, how Jesus Christ can heal any wounds of your soul, and how he can restore your life no matter how desperate it is. And it's also about the power of our decisions when we stand on the crossroads of our choice. A lot of times people blame events, people, that they broke your destiny. And my belief is, now that I live my own life, is that nobody can break your destiny. It's what you do after that event, that's what will determine your future. So that's what the book is about, and that's why I wrote it. It's a choice. It's a choice to be strong. It's a choice to give in or to fight. And my willingness to everybody is to fight.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.